Okay, so last time we were looking at the use of quantmod to download economic and financial data. One source of data is Quandl. So last time we installed that package. So to be able to use Quandl, we have to load it using the library function. Okay, so you can easily get prices, although limited lang siya, no? For example, we can get the crude oil prices. So if you Google this crude oil prices 1861, it will bring us to NASDAQ here, which I'm not so sure, but I think Quandl was acquired by NASDAQ. So what you need to get is this one, the ticker symbol or the link code. So you can just copy this, Control C, and put it into R. Okay, so we can use the Quandl function, and then quotes there, and then Control V. So we copied the link. Okay, enter, Control Enter, and you can find here the object. Di pa pala ako nag-create, no? So let me give that a name, crude oil, alt minus, Quandl, quotes, Control V. Okay, so this is the ticker symbol. And enter, and then we have this object, crude oil, with 161 observations. And take note, it's not an XTS object, no? Kasi yung date natin it's part of your variable. Price in contemporary dollars, and then price in 2021 dollars. So, ang price na binigay sa atin dito, yung current prices. Okay, and it reaches down to 1861. 161 lang kasi yearly yung data. Now let's try to see. Let's see naman OPEC. OPEC. All prices OPEC. Tingnan natin. OPEC basket price. Ito OPEC crude oil din to. Let me put here Quandl. Crude oil price, is this it? Let's see. The search gate in dito. It should be either NASDAQ or Quandl itself. All prices OPEC Quandl today. Okay, I can't see it. Dito lang. Let's try this. Okay, hindi siya. No, kasi it should show us the ticker symbol. So this is not the one. Okay. Let me see. Kasi nakuha ko na kanina yun. Okay, nag-expire na. Okay. OPEC. From Quandl. Let's see this. Hindi rin eh. So this is not the official Quandl data set, the data database. So kanina nakita ko na siya. OPEC. All right. Anyway, so I noticed also that medyo mahirap, hindi siya ganun kadali, no? mahanap one more time. So if I Google it, oil prices, Quandel, let me see. Kung oil prices lang, ito yung kanina no? From 1861, that's not what we want. Okay, ayaw. So, sige, I'll just leave you to look for that. Banda lang tingnan natin. Ano na lang. Sample ulit tayo, S&P 500. S&P 500, Quandel. Okay, let me just, ito, tingnan natin to. S&P 500, INX, ito yun. Now, when we download this, ito yun. Here, BCIW. Okay. Now, sabi dito, you must be a registered NASDAQ data link user to view this sample data set. So even if you use R, kung hindi ka naka-register, which means hindi ka kumuha ng API link, let's try this. Okay, so let me S&P alt minus control Quandel and then control B. Yan. Okay. All right, nag-ano siya class kasi nag-register na ako kanina, no? Okay. Now, if you haven't registered or if you haven't keyed in your API key, this would not work. Magsasabi siya na kailangan mag-register ka. So, if that's the case, then mag-register kayo tapos i-save niyo yung key niyo. Tapos dapat ang ilalagay niyo dito Quandel .api key. Okay? And then you write here your codes ulit, tapos copy paste your Quandel API key. And then when you enter that, and then rerun this, pwede na. No? Okay, so it runs sa akin kasi kanina I tried this already. Kinuha ko ulit yung key ko, and then I tried to see kung may nagbago na. So unless you have already your key, it's provided for free when you register. Bibigyan kayo ng key. And keep that key, no? Kasi yun ang gagamitin nyo pag mag-Quandel kayo. And then here you have your S&P 500. Okay? So this is 131, 130. And medyo limited lang siya. No? 2017 lang to. So this is just sample data. So ang disadvantage nito class, limited yung sa Quandel. There are other instances na wala sa Yahoo Finance na makukuha sa Quandel. But yung mga stock prices, katulad ng S&P 500, that's better downloaded through Yahoo Finance. But there are some metrics, there are some financial and economic data which is better downloaded or accessed through Quandel. So it pays to have everything at your disposal. So this is an example where S&P 500, kasi kung kunin natin class yan sa so library ako, no? Just to show you, library, quantmod. Okay, if I get this, let's see, I'll call it SP 500. Okay, and then di ba get symbols tayo niyan, di ba? Get symbols. Okay, and the ticker symbol for S&P 500 is GSPC. Ito yung ticker symbol niya. GSPC. Okay, so kahit yan na lang muna, no? Tapos, auto.assign is equal to false. Okay, so that it creates this object for me. Okay, if I run this, okay, so I now have here S&P 500. Okay, so if I get the structure of S SP 500. So I have 4,132 observations. As against yung kanina, yung SP 20 lang, di ba? So ito, class, it gives us much more information. Open, high, low, close, volume adjusted, and the index is here. This is also one good thing about the downloading through the use of quant mode, no? Which we distinguish from Quandel. So there are things that there are many much data that's best downloaded using quant mode, but there are some that's not available in Yahoo Finance and other sites that are only available in Quandel. So although we still use quant mode, what I meant was Yahoo Finance. No? We still use quant mode to download through Yahoo Finance or Fred or Wanda, which we did last time. Sa Quandel naman, may mga limitations. Pero it's also good to have that access to Quandel. Okay? Any questions so far, class? Clear ba yun? Okay, chat please kung clear. Okay. Sige, let's move on. Okay, let's go here. Okay. So I think last time ito example to ng ano no ng importing GDP data from so dapat okay, bakit Fred to? Okay, so let's leave Quandel first, no? Si Fred dapat to, no? Okay. Let's leave Quandel first. I think I've given you yung sufficient information about that. Of course, hindi natin sinabi yung iba pang data, no? But you can explore that for yourself. No? Okay, so let's go back to quant mode and let's first download yung Apple stock prices from, let's say, from January 1, 2015 to 12/31/2021. Okay, and if you recall, we can create this object AAPL1, get symbols, ticker symbol niya AAPL, source is Yahoo. Okay, so let me just shut this so that you can just copy it in order to save time. Okay, you can just copy this class. So we're creating this object called Apple1. So that's from 2015, January 1 up to 2021, end of 2021. And then we're creating this object AAPL1. Maybe we can, I think because last time we created the AAPL object, right? So this is just AAPL number 1 to distinguish it from the AAPL last time. But let's just make it AAPL. Anyway, you can easily rename this. Let's just use AAPL and then run this. Okay, so we have generated this object AAPL. Okay, so it's very easy to answer this. What type of object is AAPL? So let me. I don't think I gave this file to you. No? Tama ba, class? So
yes, sir. You haven't given it.
Yeah, I'm not giving it to you, class, because I want you to write down the code yourself, no? Except for some. Anyway, mga questions lang naman to. So anyway, sinare ko na dito. No? So what type of object is AAPL? We know that it's an extensible time series. How do you display the first rows and the last 6 rows? You know this already. Na-discuss natin yan. If you want to print the first 10 rows, you use the head function and then identify 10. And then tail, if you want the default of 6, then then tail lang. Because the head and the tail will default to 6 rows. Okay, and unless you identify. So if we run this, it will give us the first 10 observations and the last 6. Okay, so ito yung last 6. So it's from 2021, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ito yan, ano? Hanggang 12:30. And yung head natin, yung first 10. So that's 2015, 01, 01, 02. So this is the first 10. So it gives us the open, high, low, close, okay? Adjusted, diba? Volume, and then the OHLC, open, high, low, close, and then the volume, and then the adjusted price. So that's what this, the downloaded data gives us. Okay, and it's easy to plot. It's easy to plot, class, the series. So this should be plot. I'm changing this. This should be AAPL, class. We use the small letters. Sorry about that. So plot AAPL. It will give us the plot of the time series. So this one. And you can see the erratic movement of the Apple stock, no? Okay. Then we can also just plot the AAPL, just the adjusted, to plot just the adjusted price. Okay. So ito adjusted price lang. Oops. Mid finite X slim. Sorry, anong nangyari dito? Okay. So na si, let's just check, no? AAPL, let me view this. So it should be AAPL dot adjusted. So the column name is all caps. Sorry about that. I changed this. Dapat yung data natin is small a APL, but the column name is, if you take a look at our Apple object, the column name is AAPL adjusted. That's why it returned an error term kasi hindi niya na-recognize tong small a kanina. Okay, enter. That should give us the, okay. Right, so this is the adjusted price. Now, kanina kasi, when we plotted this, okay, so, ano siya? What's this, class? So combination na kasi ng ano yan ng open, high, low, close. That's why it looks parang ano na siya, parang hodgepodge na siya na kung anong price. Kasi si AAPL, di ba, it consists of yung open, high, low, close. So pinagsama-sama na dyan. So we can just print plot 1. Okay, kaya mas makikita natin dito, no? Okay. So you can see the movement of the Apple price, Apple stock price. Okay, and then we can, quantmod has a very powerful plotting function called chart series with a capital S. So let me, AAPL dapat. Tapos, ang i-ano natin, okay, i-plot muna natin to. Alright. So you can see here, class, we can't see it here that well kasi mahaba yung data set natin, but you can see here colors, no? In a while, I'm going to show to you just a subset of this, and you can see that this is actually a candlestick. This is candlestick plot. Okay, so any questions so far about this? Ito, class, yung chart series ng AAPL. No question, okay. Okay, so let's get naman Tesla. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's get Tesla. So we have here Tesla. Once again, I'm going to remove one here. Tesla na lang. Get symbols Tesla. This time I'm getting just 1 month worth of data. November 30 hanggang December 31. So this is 1 month worth of data. So let's run this. We'll have the structure and the print out here of Tesla. So ito yung structure niya, no? Ang structure niya, ganoon din, it's an XTS object. XTS object, no? There are 22 observations, okay? And then if we take a look at this, yan, 22 entries lang. It excludes yung Friday, Saturday, Sunday kasi walang trading day on those dates. And then let's print now, okay, chart series, Tesla, just to show you clearly what chart series, which is from the quantmod package, how it plots. Okay, i-compare natin siya class kay plot Tesla. Let's say just the adjusted. No? Kasi pag Tesla lang, pag yung ordinary plot lang, i-plot muna natin yun. Okay. What do you find here? What's the default pag nag-plot ka ng Tesla as against this one? Okay, so we can see here a candlestick, no? And I'm sure you have discussed candlesticks before. What does the orange color mean here? Anyone? What does a red color mean here? Green, I mean. Green color versus an orange color. Anong difference nila? And what are these? Ito yung mga wicker dito. No? Yung stick dito, class. Ano to? Anyone, please? Okay, green, correct. Thank you, Matthew. Green means the intraday, tumaas yung price. Okay, and red is when the price on that day went down. So daily to, di ba? Daily yan, ha? So green means on this particular day, the price went up. So ano tong ano? What's this one? And what's this one? So you can see here, ito yung candlestick natin. And let's suppose this is green. What's this? And what's this? Where it closed, okay? So this is your open. And this is your close. And this is your low. And this is your high. Okay, that's why it's called OHLC, no? Open, high, low, close. And if, for example, it's just like this, kung ganyan lang, tapos red to, let's assume that this is colored red. No? Ito red siya. So what does this indicate? Okay, kung wala siyang stick, no? Candlestick kasi ang tawag dito, no? Ito or yung wicker, wala siya. So if this is non-existent, what does this mean? If it's red, ibig sabihin nun, class, nag-close lower siya. Therefore, ba't ayaw magano? Okay. Text ulit. So, ibig sabihin ng class, Anyway, it means that this is your draw na lang. Okay? This is your closing. Okay, and this is your opening. Nag-open siya at this level, nag-close siya at this level, and then the minimum, the low is the same as your closing, and then your high is the same as your opening. Kasi walang thicker, walang weaker, no? Walang ganun. Okay, so clear ko na to. So it's very easy to plot candlestick using chart series of quant mode. And then this is the volume. So kompleto lahat, open, high, low, close, and then the volume is also reflected here. Okay, then you can also do, if we do bar chart, let's say AAPL, bar chart ng Apple. Okay, hindi siya masyadong kita, no? Kunin natin dito sa ano, kasi malaking Apple, yung Tesla na lang. Okay. Notice here that it's different from the default candlestick. So this is the bar chart. So iba siya dun sa kanina, yung sa candlestick. Okay. So ito I won't anymore explain, no? Green also means that there was an increase. And then yung nasa left dito, that's your, ano yung nasa left? That's your opening. Okay. Yung nasa right, that's your closing. Okay, notice that the closing is higher than the opening, kaya green siya. And then also yung ilalim dito, that's your low. And then sa taas, that's your high. Okay, ito red kasi, yung nasa left is your opening, yung nasa right is your closing. Mas mababa yung closing, kaya red siya. Okay, so same thing, pareho lang naman. No? Alright, so we can, of course, we can do a multicoloring. Palit natin ito ng Tesla. Candle chart, multicolor is equal to true. Tapos mag-theme tayo na white. Okay, babaguhin yung background kasi ito black ng background natin. Okay, if I run this, second, control enter. Okay, you can now see that the background is white and then magkakaibang color. No? Okay, multicolor siya. Okay, so these are, and there are many other plotting possibilities that we can do with quant mode. So that's the power of quant mode. No? All right, so I think we did this last time. Ito, let me copy this, control C, and then, okay, thank you, Matthew. Yeah, you're correct. Nasa left yung where it started. And then let me just, wait. Ito na ba yan? Ito na pala. Okay, let me just copy the code. Okay, so take a look at our code class. We define the start date and the end date. No? And then to get the data, we use the get symbols. This is Amazon. No? May ano siya class, may circumflex na yung caret na symbol. And then we define the from and then the start, from, and then to, and then source. Okay, and then here, so dito class, I'm not assigning it any name. That's why we don't need to write here auto.assign kasi ang ano nun, ang default is true. So let's run this. We'll have the start date and the end date, and then get symbols. So if we take a look at this one, Kaya nag-error siya kasi, ano yung error? Ito, no? Unable to import Amazon. Kasi may, ano siya, may, okay, mayroon siyang caret. If I remove this, and then run this, okay, so nag ano na siya, no? So, my point there was be careful with symbols. Kasi yung caret na yon, for some stocks, ginagamit yun. For example, yung GSPC, yung S&P 500, may caret siya na symbol. For others, wala naman, no? But mas konti yung may caret. That's why just be aware. So, andito na si Amazon. Okay, we were able to download that. And then, of course, we can also plot the series. Okay, so this is the full plot, the plot of the whole series. Okay, any questions, class? Okay, thank you, Jericho. How about the others, please? Okay, okay, good. All right, let's continue. Okay, so there are many other functions in, ito, pwede nang i-type na lang to, isa-isay natin. Okay, so we know get symbols already. Okay, so let's get symbols GS. GS is Goldman Sachs. Okay, if I get symbols, GS, so automatic, as we discussed before, 2007 yung magiging default niya. When you download next year, magiging 2018, nagmo-move siya lagi, no? It keeps on moving. Last year, this was 2006. So, gumalaw na siya. No? Okay. And then this one, it's a question, is that OHLC? Is the data that we got OHLC? Okay. Enter natin. And the answer is true. So, it's an XTS object. Okay, a while ago, di ba nag-download tayo, asan na yung Apple natin? Itong crude oil, no? Okay. If I ask, is that OHLC si crude oil, yung kaninang dinownload natin? Crude oil. All right. Is that open, high, low, close data? Asan na ba si crude oil? Ito class, no? Definitely hindi siya, no? So it will return a false answer. False siya. Kasi hindi siya open, high, low, close data, no? Okay, so again, some other questions. So does it have volume? Has that volume? Of course, the answer will be true. You can copy this. Has that vol. That means has that volume. Okay, how about this one? I'm creating an object open GS, which means which I'm designating to be the opening prices of Goldman Sachs. So if you want that, you can create open GS or however name you want to make it, and then the function is OP, and that means opening. Control Enter. So we now have this object. So no, ito na. Si OpenGS. And if I have this shown here, so GS open. Okay, so opening prices to ni Goldman Sachs. Okay, and we can also get the adjusted prices. So AD lang yan, no? Okay, AD, GS. I leave that to you, class, to run. Okay, and then here, we can use the series high function to tell us where, dun sa range ng data natin from 2007 to up to yesterday, asan dun yung highest price ni Goldman Sachs. Okay, and it will tell us that the highest price ito, no? Was on November 2, 2021. The closing price was 423. The adjusted price was 404. Okay? So ito na yung pinakamataas na ano na price na inabot from 2007 up to yesterday. This was the highest price that Goldman Sachs experienced. Okay? And then also, pwede rin yung series high, series low, ganun din. Series high and series low, this will give us the lowest. So if November 11, 2020, November 2, 2021 was the highest, ang lowest naman is 2008, November 21. That was the lowest price. Ang closing niya is 53, no? Here the closing was 423. Okay, so ang laki ng tinaas, no? Ang adjusted at that time 404, ito 42 lang. So if you're a stockholder of Goldman Sachs, then you'll be happy kasi from 40 plus ngayon, as of yesterday, ano na ba si GS? Asan na si GS? Okay, as of yesterday, if you are an investor, ang closing niya yesterday is medyo bumaba compared to to 2021 kasi nag 404 yung adjusted doon ito. So there was shedding off of some stock value for 316 na lang. Okay. All right, then okay, alam niyo na tong chart series na to, no? That's the function. Okay. Okay, so we can also make combinations. So for example, ito, what's this? You can combine columns, no? To arrive at the naming convention. Okay, for example, open to close, percentage change ang makukuha natin dito, OPCL. So this is, kukunin yung percentage change from daily percentage change from open to close. Let's try this. Okay, so we see here, let's create this object para OPCL. Okay, so I'm creating this object OPCL. So ito siya OPCL. All right. So how did we arrive at this? 0.005. No? Control C. That's 0.005. Oops. Mali na copy ko. Anyway, OPCL. Just the first one. Yan, okay? OPCL, ito, 0.005. How was this arrived at? Let's take a look at the GS natin. Okay, ang opening niya, yung first day, no? The opening was, so ito, GS, ano ba yung object natin dun? GS, okay, GS. So let's get the, so first row, comma, and then pang anong column? 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth column. Okay, so 200.72, di ba? And then, Control C, Control V, and open, close siya, and then opening is first. And so 200.72 over 200.6. So if we get the simple, let me see if this will work. Control C, kasi may index siya. Divided by Control V, minus 1. Okay. So hindi siya nag-work. So kunin ko na lang tong price. Control C. Divided by. So that's open to close, diba? So you get the percentage change of opening and closing. So we expect this to be positive kasi nag-increase siya, no? It opened at 200.6 and then it closed at 200.72. Ito kaya positive to. So that's divided by 200.6. Control C, Control V. -1. All right, so ito, no? 0.005, 0.00598. All right, so that's how we get the percentage change by using this comparison of open, close, also open, open. Pag open, open, opening of the succeeding day divided by the opening of the first day. So ganun din yan, no? So if I create this object OP, OP, alt minus, okay, so datan lang natin name, OP, OP. So we're creating this object, which is the percentage change between opening and opening. Okay, so it's here. There, so may ano tayo, no, may bakante tayo dito, may NA tayo because wala tayong price prior to December, January 3, no? Okay, but the concept is the same. Okay, any questions dito sa ano? Sa itong mga to? Ito naman high low high and close, no? Okay? So this is the percentage change from high to closing. Okay, yung unang ano dito, yung unang text dito, we start there and then we end here. So this should be closing divided by highest -1. Okay, let me pause for a while. Any questions, class? Clear tayo so far? Okay, thank you. Okay. Right, so let me see. Dali lang ha. Kasi I'm pacing myself. No? Hindi ko makita yung time dito. Ano to? Bakit hindi ano? Ha? Okay, close ko to. Okay. Anong class ha? Anong oras na? I'm just pacing myself. No? What time na class? It doesn't show here.
It's 5:36 na po, sir.
5:36. Okay, sige. We have some more time. Okay. Sige. So, wait lang ha. Nawawala naman yung R ko. Dami kasi naka-open. Wait, asan ang R ko? It's hidden somewhere here. Natakpan siya. Okay, yan. That's not the R. Arima to. Wait. Ang tago yung R na ginagamit natin. Ito. Alright. Okay, back here. Alright, so where are we? Okay, some other functions. Okay, we can also subset, no? So ito yung GS natin. If we just want 2007 prices, pwede, no? So GS, brackets, so this is for subsetting, and then just 2007. Pwede rin 2008 lang. So you can subset your time series. Ito, January lang ng 2008. Ito naman, may range siya, June 2007 hanggang specific date in 2008. So you can do this. Okay, so ito naman, it means everything. So pareho lang ng GS yan. No? And then here, okay, 2008 and then colon, okay, empty here, it means that from 2008 up to last date niya. No? So that's how you can subset Okay, I'll give you a few minutes to, ano ko na lang, sige. Copy ko na lang to for you to save on time. Control C. Okay. Okay, so, and also you can subset non-contiguous. No? Ano yung non-contiguous? So first, let's identify an object here. Copy ko na rin dito. Control C. In the interest of time, kasi late ako kanina. Control V. Although, normally I would let you be the one to write this kasi iba yung nagpa-practice eh. Iba yung kinaka-copy-paste na lang, no? So there's no sense of the feel of it, the practice. So I'm creating an object here called non-contiguous. So January 2020, February 2020, and December 2020. So tatlong months to, no? If I run this, okay, what do you have here? All right, so non-contiguous, and then ito na nag-print siya. Gawa natin to ng ano, NC. Let's create an object called NC. Okay, NC, which is Goldman Sachs na non-contiguous. So if I run this, we now have an NC here. Okay, and then it consists of 62 entries. So it's January 2020, and then February 2020, the whole month of February, and the whole month of December for 2020. So we were able to subset selected dates. Okay, any questions, class? Any questions? Okay, clear so far? All right. Okay, then again, in the interest of time, class, I'll share this with you. Okay, so that we just focus for now. I'm just sharing with you the file kasi oops, mali. Siya lang na-copy ko. Control C. Okay. There. Itong last GS natin, what will give us? Yung last date, no? Kaya last. Yan. June 1, no? That was as of yesterday. So updated tong si quantmod, yung latest na price talaga. And then this will give us the last 8 observations, the last 3 weeks. No? Ito naman, last GS, -3 weeks. So that means everything except the last 3 weeks. Yun ang ibig sabihin ng -3 weeks dito. Okay, and then the last month, the last 3 months. Okay, and then here, ano to? Last and the first. So ito, it means the first 2 weeks and the last 3 days. So if in case you're interested in having a data like that, if I print this, okay, it will give us the first 2 weeks. So first 2 weeks will be GS, first 2 weeks, and then the last 3 days. Okay, hindi niya print yung ano, no? Ito. Okay, yan ang disadvantage kung hindi tayo mag-create. Let me just call that GS last first. Okay. Okay, so here I'm creating this object, GS last first. And then let's see. So GS last first, what does it contain? Okay, So, something's wrong here. 110, 111, 112. Ano nangyari? First 2 weeks. Okay, sorry. My bad, no? So, kukunin niya muna yung first 2 weeks. And then, out of those first 2 weeks, kukunin niya yung last 3 days. So, this is correct. So, first, it got the first 2 weeks. And then, from this first 2 weeks, it got the last 3 days, which is this 3. No? Okay, so, yun siya, no? All right, another important thing here, okay, and I'd like to beg your, okay, anyway, yung mga susunod chart series ulit to, no? Nakuha na naman natin to, except for some other examples. So we'll study this next meeting. Pero ito muna, class, because this is very important. Now, when you download, class, usually pag stock prices, ano yan? Kunyari, itong periodicity. So, ang stock price is daily yan. Daily period yan, from the beginning up to the end. Okay, now, one good thing is that, ano ibig sabihin itong unclass ng periodicity ni GS? What does it mean? So, binibigyan niya sa atin, frequency, parang inaano niya yung, binibreakdown niya sa atin, no? 86,400. Now, I'd like you to know what this 86,400 is, no? Start date, end date, tapos units niya in days, okay, scale niya daily or label in day. So that's what unclassify is, no? Ng periodicity. And then you can come up with a GS week. Okay, so let's create this object. Okay, ang GS natin is how many observations? 4,000 to, di ba? Yung GS, 4,000 observations. Pero pag gawin natin weekly yan, Control Enter. So itong GS week, you notice that it will now be only 857. So from 4,000, naging 857 na lang. And you take note of this, no? Okay? Notice that weekly data na siya. Okay, so it's very easy for R to generate weekly data, and then ito, let's say, monthly data. Okay? Ito pwede ring weekly data ng 2020. Okay? Ito monthly data. So for example here, GS month. Of course, we expect, oops, sorry. Asan na yan? Mali. Dito, no? To monthly. So I'm creating this GS month to monthly ng GS. Control Enter. So we have GS month here. And then there are only 198 observations, and you can see here that these are now monthly data. Okay, so very convenient. Imagine, class, kung gagawin nyo sa Excel yan, well, if you filter nyo sa Excel yan, that can be very, very difficult. Okay, so yung hanapin natin yung periodicity ng, so I'm going to change this now, kasi nag-create tayo ng object, no? Periodicity ng GS month. Of course, we know that this will be, okay, oops, sorry. Maling spelling ko, periodicity. And GS month, that will be monthly. Monthly na siya. Okay, and then we can also compute for the number of days, number of weeks, number of years naman. There. Number of days, 4132. Number of years, number of weeks, 857. Number of years, 17. Okay? All right, then I'll leave you guys to, sorry, Control Z, to try to get this. So ready time, Control C. Chat ko na lang sa inyo. Chat. Okay. All right. Get the periodicity. Okay, of this one. Okay, so if you run this, get FX, ito siya, no? US dollar, euro. Okay. Here, US dollar, euro, 12.5. So 179 entries. Okay, so from June 1, okay, so we know that this is daily data. Daily data siya. Periodicity niyan, okay, daily periodicity. Now, can we convert this into weekly, to weekly? All right, naging weekly na siya, no? Okay, so ang periodicity niya will of course be weekly na. Okay, they're weekly. All right, so let's end here, class. Yung susunod charting, this is, we actually have started with this. Okay, so inuulit dito yung chart series. May mga bago lang ako introduce dito, kanya rin bar chart, and then pwede rin mag-line chart. Okay, mag-line chart. So candle chart, which is what we did before. Okay, line chart also pwede. Okay, so, and then we start with sa class next meeting yung, this is very important for us. Ito na, magsisimula na tayong, papunta na tayo sa ARIMA, yung returns. Kasi ang usual ang kino-compute yung returns. Not necessarily the prices, but more so on returns. Okay? So I think we were able to accomplish what we needed to accomplish. I was really hoping that we would be able to reach up to yung conversion ng periodicity, which we were able to accomplish, and that's good. Okay, so let me stop recording now.